Objective objectivity, number 5. Formalizing doubt, the percentage principle. The core of objective thinking is doubt. You must always have a measure of doubt in your conclusions so that you can adjust them in light of new information. Once you say, I am absolutely sure of something, whatever it may be, your mind automatically armors itself against any input that challenges your position. You will ignore contrary information or discount it as erroneous or false with little or no examination. This is human nature, often referred to as confirmation bias. Confirmation bias is hardwired into the human brain. It takes a positive act of will and constant reinforcement to resist it. I call one method of resisting confirmation bias the percentage principle. Every opinion I have, every fact I think I know, is assigned a percentage of confidence. That is, how sure am I that something is objectively true on a scale of 0 to 100, except that 0 and 100 are both off limits. Nothing gets a 100 and nothing gets a 0. It is not terribly important that the percentage of confidence be exactly correct. What is important is that the number moves every time you get new data, and that you move it willingly, even eagerly, in either direction. Let's consider some examples. I am 99.999999% confident that the Newtonian law of gravity, as it is currently understood by engineers, applies correctly and reliably to my daily life. Since accurate anticipation of the functioning of gravity is essential to how I move through the world, how the objects and fluids around me behave, and how the cars, bicycles, and airplanes I use to travel perform without accident, my life depends on it. However, I hold open the possibility that someday we may discover a way to control or disrupt gravity in a non-Newtonian way, or that there may be places in the universe where the law of gravity as we use it does not hold true. I am 99.999999% confident that the Greek god Apollo has no influence in my life. Or I could mean the same thing by saying I am 0.000001% sure that the Greek god Apollo does have an influence in my life. I understand him as a character in ancient stories, but in my entire life I have seen no evidence of any kind that such a creature influences current events. Therefore, I spend no time worrying about what he may think or feel about me, and I do nothing to curry his favor or appease him. However, I keep open the possibility that there may be some force in the universe, however dormant or obscure, that does or could affect my life in a way reminiscent of the god Apollo. Stepping away from extreme examples, let's consider something a bit more practical. Let's say I hear someone in line at the grocery store or a post on social media saying that something has happened or something has been said in the realm of politics. Let's say it is something I've never heard before. Do I assign it a 50% probability that it is true and a 50% probability that it is false? No. I would assign it something closer to a 10% confidence level of being sure that it is either true or false, because I just don't have much information on the reliability of the source. Here is where the danger to objectivity lies. If it is a negative story about a politician I support, I will look for ways to discount the story. If it is a negative story about a politician I oppose, I will be tempted to just believe it or look for ways to confirm it. If you are striving for objectivity, you will say to yourself, be careful, my confirmation bias mode is activated. I must work very hard to set it aside and honestly evaluate the story and any additional information I can find. If you are truly acting objectively, you will assign the same confidence number whether you adore or hate the politician involved. In the course of this series, we will look at a number of things that get in the way of objectively assessing information. Many of them overlap, and several of them can be present at the same time. Some of them may be just a different way of approaching the same problem. We will also be looking at techniques to help us get a clearer view of objective reality and make our percentage of confidence assignments more accurate. The primary purpose of the percentage principle is to remind us to constantly look for and be open to honestly reassessing new data. Without this mindset, objective reality can only be found by chance, and even when found, is easily lost again. Until next time, keep an open mind.